Household Cavalry under the command of Captain J. Hewitt, who in fact played the part of St. George at the start of this Royal Tournament. And in comes our first group of historic cavalry riders. These are the uniforms of 1660. Those glorious plumes, and look at these, 1815 these uniforms are from, the Battle of Waterloo on the 18th of June, and the helmet there, very much like a Roman centurion's helmet. And the most familiar uniform of the Household Cavalry. It's the current uniform, which in fact does date back some 100 years. Well, there are very few occasions nowadays when cavalry drills can be seen, but the Queen's birthday parade and the Major General's annual inspection of the Household Cavalry show how splendid these massed horsemen look when they're carrying out manoeuvres which have remained much the same for the last 300 years. And it is extremely rare to ever see the Household Cavalry draw swords. You will now see that.
Swords!
And of course, what the cavalry are really famous for is the charge. Imagine being at the receiving end of that lot as they leave the arena. The Household Cavalry Regiment. We've seen the cavalry, now this is what the infantry would have looked like 300 years ago. These are members of the modern-day Army Cadet Corps, and the front ranks there are wearing the uniforms of the 1680s. The second ranking, with the grenadier caps on, they are from the era of the 1750s. Infantrymen at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815 would have been wearing a uniform exactly like this one. And in 1879, the pith helmet. They file themselves into the column, ready for firing here, which is the sort of lineup they would have used on a battlefield 300 years ago. Into position. Now, this brings all the firepower they have into action. Maximum firepower from the infantry. Now, they needed to do it like that because, of course, in those days, they didn't have machine guns. And so they literally launched off a fusillade of shots at the enemy, but then came the problem of reloading. Now they are forming into the famous infantry square. This was for maximum defense against a charging cavalry. You can see it's a perfect square there. And look at that. 4 sides of firepower, and unfortunately one of them going off a bit early. Now imagine yourself in the position of one of those infantrymen. You're squatting there, you know you only have 1 shot out of your musket, and charging towards you a whole regiment of horses standing 15 or 16 hands high with those fearsome looking troopers aboard and the plumes flying in the wind, swords drawn. And the shots of the infantrymen as the charge goes on. And it looks like on this occasion the infantry have won. The cavalry retreat.